Hi all, and welcome to a new episode of Hemargroup Partner of the Month in video interviews. Today with us there is Nicolò Barbano from xFarm. Hi Nicolò.
Hi everyone.
And as always, Andrea Moroni Stampa, the CTO of Hemargroup. Hi Andrea.
Hi everybody.
So without further ado, maybe Nicolò, can you introduce shortly yourself and what you're doing in xFarm, and also what is xFarm exactly?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Nicolò Barbano, as you said, and I'm head of marketing of xFarm. So basically, I manage all the marketing and communication in xFarm, which is a startup, an ag tech startup. So we produce technology for agriculture, founded in 2017. And so my job is actually to communicate and try to promote the technology in agriculture. It's one of the most difficult markets to innovate, to try to share some technology and some new strategies with. And actually, so my mission is to try to promote this new technology, which is done by applications, analytics, sensors, and these kind of things, to the small farmers, but also to big corporates, because we work with both the end of the supply chain. So maybe I can introduce you more about xFarm. As I said, it's a startup. We are actually in quite a scale-up phase. We started in 2017 from just an idea. We started from scratch, from the ideas of our three founders, which are Salvatore Ferullo, Matteo Vanotti, and Martino Poretti. They are like really complementary co-founders, because actually Salvatore is the, I would say, IT guy, the CTO, and then Martino is probably the more like research and development one. And then there is Matteo Vanotti, which is an engineer, but at the same time he has a family-owned farm in Italy, near Alessandria. And actually, this is an interesting thing, because he has managed a lot of projects about innovation in other sectors, in other markets, like in finance market and banking. And at the same time, he was managing his farm, and he was seeing that the technology was not there, and the technology that he could import from the USA, for example, from America and other countries, was not really fitable with the needs of Italian agriculture. So this is the starting point. He worked with the other founders to create a solution to manage his own farm. And then the product was actually quite good, so it started to spread out to his neighborhood, and then to his region, and then it all started. It started as also as a commercial development. So basically, it all started in, as I said, between 2017, 2018. With like beta phase, where the product was in beta, and a few users were engaged in order to test it. And these were really an interesting phase, because actually our goal is to create solutions that are driven by the user, that are user driven. So everything that the user were using at the time, were asking us at the time, is still today in our products. And our process of innovation relies a lot on their needs, on the needs of the farmers. So it all started with a web application. In the beginning, it was a software-only product to manage the farm. But just in a couple of months, we realized that actually there was a problem. In order to manage a complex business like farming, you couldn't enter every single data manually. So this was the point where we understood that actually having sensors and having like hardware, connected hardware, could be a turning point for the agriculture, for the farmers and for the agriculture market, in order to give a lot of data to the platform and simplify the use of it. So we started developing some sensors, and then we continued by integrating them. So we work on both sides. On one side, we have the development of special sensors, for example, our xWater, which is a sensor for rice cultivations. And on the other hand, we also integrate already on the other side, we also have the integration of other sensors that are already in the market, produced by other companies, and which are integrated fully in the application. Then the next step for us was to use better those data. So we have developed a lot of new features in order to use this data into provisional models, into analytics functionalities that give to the farmer a suggestion. So actually the journey was like starting from a system that can organize your data, then using sensor that can give you data, raw data. And then the last step was to integrate functionalities that can transform data into suggestion. For example, let's say when to irrigate, how much to irrigate, when a specific disease could be developed in the field, so you can like prepare yourself and defend the fields in time, and these kind of things. So this is quite the journey that we have faced. As I was saying, on the sensor side, we started from like environmental monitoring sensors, for example, weather station and soil sensors. But more and more we are integrating a lot of different sensors. For example, we are working a lot on the machinery side, all the telemetry data, because actually modern tractors are like the cars. They produce a lot of data that usually are just seen by the driver on the screen, but you can also record it and you can use those data for intelligent features. So this is also another turning point that is quite characteristic for our solution. And then I will say that the last step that we are doing right now is to expand the IT capabilities of the application for the farmers to a supply chain view. So we are working on aggregating all the data and giving smart analytics suggestion to who manage the supply chain, all the stakeholders, for example, let's say a food industry, or maybe an association, a group of technicians, and these kind of things, so that the farmers can have a benefit from using the solution, maybe saving time, saving money, and these kind of things on his own farm. But as a whole supply chain, you also have the advantages for management, for traceability, food security, and also another big topic is sustainability. Up to date, a lot of sustainability calculation are like an estimation. You don't have the right data to calculate a precise footprint of maybe a single action that a farmer has done. We are working on that because actually we have developed a system that can give all the data that are needed for this, and we are just working on the, let's say, technology point of view to try to digest all these big data and transform it into a simple information for the stakeholder, but also for the consumer that will maybe eat the food.
Okay, thank you, Nicolò, for this fascinating story. I mean, you are in the group of people who do it, right, in scale up, from startup to scale up. And it's, it's quite interesting also for our public. I would like to ask the same question to Andrea, also for people who tune in for the first time to our video interviews who might not know who is Hemargroup, and also you, Andrea. So if you can introduce shortly yourself and Hemargroup.
Of course. Thank you, Saverio, and thank you, Nicolò, for this wonderful introduction. xFarm is very interesting, and Hemargroup has been marrying the concept and the strategy of the startup from the early days. The need for an electronic part, so IoT sensors, gateways, interaction, cloud connection, and all those kind of things are actually one of the two key points for xFarm besides the platform itself. And as Hemargroup, since we are on the market since more than 40 years, doing the development to the prototype up to the mass series production of electronic devices, xFarm is the almost perfect example. So it all started with an idea, as Nicolò just said, and then drawing a platform, and then seeing that there was another need, a need for electronics. And those electronics have been developed by xFarm itself, but also with the help of Hemargroup from the beginning. We have given advices on how to better produce the electronics, how to improve the cost of the devices. And actually, we are also partnering right now at present time in the scale up of the electronic production from the couple of 100 pieces up to the thousands, and hopefully in the next couple of months more and more like this, so to 10,000, 100,000, why not? Of course, there are two types of electronic devices. The one that are just, piece of devices not needing to be perfect, where you can acquire maybe on Asiatic market or other European market, but also, and this is the second and for me the most important type, the key components. The key components is the intelligence of the whole system, and those parts, they need to be actually absolutely quality proof. We are in Switzerland. We do Swiss-made electronics following the highest production standards. We are certified for medical and military applications, as well for normal industrial application. This is 80% of our market. And realizing, creating, producing electronic devices in Switzerland actually gives that plus value, that turning value to a final product. And I think, and I hope Nicolò can confirm this, that xFarm is very happy to work with us, and we are also planning together the near future, as I said. This being said, this is not only so production, development and production is not the only service that we have for our customers. We also do the full design and full development of the surrounding part of an electronic device. Further, mechanical design. We are improving our mechanical engineering department right now, and also the software and mechanical and electronic integration all together into a final product. And nevertheless, last but not least, the final testing of the electronic PCB one side and of the final product, the finally assembled product. And this all comes from the same factory, and the factory is based in Ticino, Switzerland. So we are really 100% Swiss made.
Okay, thank you, Andrea, for this introduction of Hemargroup, and also for the, you introduced the subject of the collaboration between the two companies. And I think that you touch a very interesting point, that is outsourcing and partnering. Because for big corporate, probably this is quite normal, it's quite a standard. While for a startup, it's a very delicate topic, right? Because you have to basically give to an external partner, if you are a tech company, the tech part. So basically let's say 80% of the company. And this is very delicate. It's very important to find the perfect partner for it, also on the basis of trust, not only competencies. And I think that is really a hot topic for every startup that is looking around at this moment. Maybe Nicolò, you want to introduce and the second question also to Andrea, on your perspectives or the perspective of xFarm. I think that this part is quite succeeded. How was to really find an external partner that can support you on this part? So how do you deal with or dealt with outsourcing and partnering with another company?
Yeah, well, I would like to start by confirming why we have chosen Hemargroup, and as Andrea said, these were the main topics. So was Swiss quality made, and also the ability to fit to our needs. I will answer this question from a really strategic point of view. When you are a startup like us, you want to focus on two main things: be fast, and on the other side, hear the feedbacks from the users. And as for what is the speed of developing such a technology, outsourcing is probably one of the main solution in order to start from a company that can have also the know-how, the structure, and these kind of things. And then when there is also a nice fit, like for example our collaboration, you can work together also for a lot of years. It's not just a starting point where maybe you are a little company and you need to outsource because you don't have the large scale, but also once you have establish a good fit, you can go on and start working together to create new projects and this kind of things. So from our point of view, outsourcing is actually a really important thing for us, and we are doing that also on other topics because actually it's very important for us. We are a farm management information system, which actually means that our goal is not to create like the application that gives you information about irrigation, but to create a digital ecosystem. And to create a digital ecosystem for agriculture, you need to integrate, outsource, and these kind of things. So we have put into our business plan our ability to talk with farmers and to create requirements and study solution, but we could have never done it without a partner that can transform these requirements and these projects into a real piece of hardware that we can use. And on the other side, as I was saying, it's also very important for us the quality and the ability to adapt to our needs. For our solution, we are talking about technology and hardware electronics that works out in the field, that are used in more than 400 crops, different crops. We have our sensors spread all around the world, and so really having one single partner to go and talk with is very important for us, because you have just a person that is your reference for everything, and I think this is very, very important.
Okay, thank you, Nicolò. I think you, with your answer, you gave the secret sauce also to choose the correct partner for outsourcing. And the same question for you, Andrea. Maybe also you can shortly introduce also the topic on how, generally speaking, Hemargroup deal with startups and what startups can expect when dealing with Hemargroup and as a source partner for engineering and production together, or obviously separately.
Of course. Well, finding new customers nowadays for every kind of company in the world is very difficult, because especially for big customers, because the big companies already have their supply chain, already have their partners, already have their backup and backup of the backup supply chain partners. Our strategy in Hemargroup is to help the new customers, not the big one. Well, of course, the big one, we can handle them as well, but the new one on the market, the startups, the private people, the entrepreneurs, needing to have a solution, a development, and starting by a prototype, and after those prototypes, do some field tests together, and after the field test, they go into a certification process, and at the end, go into production. Once we are in the production, automatically, if the startup is successful and with our help we try to make it possible, then we have a new big customer, which is actually the goal of our strategy. It is a long time strategy, but it actually pays off. The xFarm process is exactly what how this happened with us. We started with the small parts, and then now we are in the big series. And as you said, and also as Nicolò confirmed, that choosing the right partner which can follow you from the early stage up to the big series smoothless, in a smooth way, is actually key and turning point for any type of technological startup. Maybe I would like to add something to what Nicolò said. The focus point for any kind of startup is really to find the final customer and to sell the product, and to sell the idea and to sell the service. Finding the product or doing or creating the product, it can be possible to do it in-house, but afterwards, no startup is expert in production. No startup is expert in sourcing. You need to find the right partner to grow up and concentrate your efforts in the right field, which is find paying customers. And having that problem or hardware problem out of your table is a win-win situation for everybody.
Okay, thank you, Andrea, for this explanation. I think it's right what also startups want to hear, right? To have a partner who can take off some responsibilities from the shoulder of the founders. And I think we are coming to the end of our interview. As always, I would like to ask you, both of you, if you can give personal advice on business, on startups, on entrepreneurship, or whatever you think it's the most important to you for our viewers. So maybe, Nicolò, you want to start with your personal advice? What you learned from your experience?
Yeah, this probably will be like the source of this talk, but it's like the philosophy that we use in xFarm. Me, myself, I had like quite a problem to deal with it at the beginning, but then I understood the importance of that. And my advice is to actually don't stop and overthink products, but go step by step and go with in a really fast way to the market. Try to sell maybe something that you don't have already, just to understand if that product can work. Try to reiterate versions and versions of software, of hardware, in order to better understand how to develop the product. Because actually, for every single project that we do in xFarm, from the product that we sell, but also to the, for example, in my case, marketing strategies or these kind of things, you can believe how many things we haven't done because we tried just to put a foot in that, and we understood that it was not correct. So we have saved really a lot of time and so money also in that. And I would like to really suggest to apply like the lean ideas, the lean development strategy for every single thing that you do. Talk a lot with your customer and try to apply this, and don't have fear of losing a single customer just because maybe you are giving to him a prototype. Try to work with him, find maybe the right customer to do this, but this is a really critical point, and don't be shy. So the source is don't be shy and go fast.
On these things, there is a famous quote, probably you know it. If you don't feel sorry for your product, you probably launched too late, right? This kind of the sum up of what you said. The same question to you, Andrea. Your personal advice on these topics.
Well, I'll start also with a famous quote from Mr. Disney: "If you can dream it, you can make it." And going fast and focusing on a minimum viable product, also a very often heard keyword, is the most important part in being a startup. Is it a service? Is it a device? Is it whatever you're trying to sell to the world? But go on and dream it and go on and make it and try to make it run. And if it's not running, try to fake it until you make it. And this is the third quote of this interview. And you will be delighted to see how a business can be created even without having a product on your table yet. Of course, if you have the right partner that help you out in critical situations, if you have the right idea, if you have the right situation, we know a lot of examples where the idea was too early for the market, and then it had success after a couple of months or a couple of years. Of course, all those aspects help in having the success you need. Anyway, I would like to finish up this interview with a wish to all our viewers to contact us, Hemargroup, for a development or a production in the electronic and the mechatronic business, or to sign up for xFarm and try the app itself. Personally, I do use it for my backdoor garden. It's wonderful. It works. You don't need to be a farmer with, I don't know, 100,000 hectares to work it. It's working. And also xFarm has this free part, and then you can grow up with xFarm as well. What do you think, Nicolò?
Yeah, exactly. We go from 1 hectare farms to 1,000 hectare farms, and yeah, as you said, we are really open to collaborate with other companies, other situations, and at the same time, really, I suggest you to try our free version of the application, because you can try to understand what digital farming is, this main topic that we're discussing about.
All right, and I would like to add a very small challenge. If you, a viewer, find an xFarm product on your fields or on your trip, on your holiday, post a photo on our social media and tag us. Tag Hemargroup, tag xFarm. I think the tag is Hello xFarm.
Exactly.
So, and maybe there could be a prize in the future for doing this. I'm sure that Nicolò has a lot of gadgets in the back door, as we all have.
Exactly.
All right, thank you.
Thank you to both of you. I think this is really the perfect conclusion for this short interview. As you said in the description of the video, you can find all the contact information, the websites, and also the hashtag you can use to tag the xFarm products on the field that you find on the field. And I would like to personally thank you, both of our guests today, because it was really a nice interview. And we're looking forward for the next partner of the month. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.